Sometimes there's a lot of noise in our lives, and it's hard to hear God's voice, even figure out what He's trying to tell us. Our to-do lists and our projects and our calendars are all clamoring for our attention, and they can crowd out God's voice in a day-to-day basis. It's very easy in our lives to have so much noise, literal noise. And I'm talking about myself, from videos that I'm watching, YouTube, that seems to have a never-ending suggestion list for me to keep watching. Scrolling through social media, there's always something that's calling for my attention. It could be the to-do list around our house, the never-ending job security for parents of dishes and laundry and cleaning and yard work, and even good things that call for our attention. Our friends and our family and obligations and even church things that are very good and important can all vie for our attention, and like it's crying out to us. And I'm just speaking about me. But the one thing that we can't do is let all of those voices completely crowd out our ability to hear God's voice, the most important of all of those voices. So today's daily dose is from Mark chapter 1, verse 35. It's about Jesus' early ministry, and it has struck me. So I'm going to start back a little bit so you can hear what's been happening. Starting at verse 29. As soon as they left the synagogue, they went with James and John to the home of Simon and Andrew. Simon's mother-in-law was in bed with a fever, and they immediately told Jesus about her. So he went to her, took her hand, and helped her up. The fever left her, and she began to wait on them. That evening after sunset, the people brought to Jesus all the sick and demon-possessed. The whole town gathered at the door, and Jesus healed many who had various diseases. He also drove out many demons, but he would not let the demons speak because they knew who he was. And then listen to this. This is the daily dose. Mark chapter 1:35. It says, very early in the morning, while it was still dark, Jesus got up, left the house, and went off to a solitary place where he prayed. Jesus, the Son of God, got busy doing ministry. He was healing, he was teaching, he was driving out demons, he was calling his disciples, training them and equipping them for kingdom work. And yet, in the morning, before things got busy, Jesus went away to a quiet place. And that always struck me that Jesus, who really didn't need anything, needed time to be with God. And for me, that's important on a personal daily basis. I need to find time to carve out to be with God. Sometimes for me, that's going on a run with a podcast of a sermon or a Bible study or a devotional. Sometimes it's getting up and grabbing my Bible and just digging through a chapter at a time. It can be going to Bible study as well. There are lots of ways. Just going through prayers. My wife and I pray together before we go to sleep every night that's possible. And there are times like that in each day to do that, but also it's important on a grand scale. Now, obviously, I live and work here at Okoboji, at Ingham Okoboji Lutheran Bible Camps, and that's what we exist for. It's a place for people to get away from the daily routines and to connect with God on a new level. And I just see that as so important. So this verse reminds me how important it is for all of us, even Jesus, who took time to get away. So I hope that it works for you to carve out time every day to listen for God's voice, and to carve out big chunks of time throughout your months and your year as a family, as an individual, to get away with a focus on listening to God's voice. That's your daily dose. Have a great day.